Find Samasthiti. Lift your arches, tone the low belly, loop your armpits up, around and then down your back. Surya Namaskara A. Five. Second one. Five. Third time. Five. Again. Last one. Five. Surya Namaskara B. So in preparation of Pashasana, make sure you're really getting low on your Uttatasanas because that will help later. Five. Second one. Five. Last time. Padangustasana. Five. Five. Samasthiti. Trikonasana. Five. Left side. Five. Parvata Trikonasana. Five. And left side. Five. Samasthiti. Parshva Konasana. Five. Left side. Five. Parvata Parshva. Five. Left side. And 5. Prasarita Padottanasana. A. Five. B position. Five. C position. Five. D position. Five. Samasthiti. Parshvottanasana. Five. Left side. Five. Samasthiti. Let's do the whole standing sequence today. So that's often where you finish it before second, but since we're only doing half a second, let's do the rest of the standing. So Uttita Hasta on Mustasana. Five. Float your leg. 5. Left side. 5. 5. Float your leg. 5. Ardha Padma Padottanasana. 5. Left side. 5. Samastiti. Surya Namaskar. 5. Virabhadrasana A. 5. 5. Virabhadrasana B. 5. Right side. 5. Pashasana. Hop up to the front edge of your mat. So I'll teach a modified version. I would suggest for rolling up your mat enough so that you've got like at least a few rolls depending on how thick your mat is, Or you can see what Paul's doing here. He's got a block underneath his heels. So you want your heels to feel grounded. Halasana, you twist to the left first. So it's the right arm first. I'm going to show a modification. Paul will show the full version of it. So he's looping both of his legs. I'll turn and face the camera. I'm just going to wrap one of my legs and let the other one be open. Fine. If it's available to you, look over your left shoulder. Five. No Vinyasa here. You face center and you do the second side. Five. Stay centered. Hands down. Hop back. Chaturanga. Crunchasana. Jump through. Fold the right leg back so the knee points forward. Can you pass me your block? Thanks. So Paul is not going to sit on a block, but you can't sit on a block. So if you're interested in that, I'm doing it. You just stick it right under your butt. Left leg up. So the right leg grounds, the seat grounds. Extend the back in preparation, and then exhale, pull yourself together. Inhale, open it back up. Exhale, hands down. Push back, lower down, chaturanga. And then your second side. So this time the left leg folds back. And the right leg comes up. So if you can't grab the ankle, you can always grab to the calf that's on, wherever you can reach. Take an inhale, prepare so it's open right now. The pose is open. And then again, if it's available, you pull it together, but that's a lot of hamstring. So if it's not available, you can stay open. Five. Inhale. Hands down. Take it back. Chaturanga. Okay, from now we're facing dog. Come forward to a high plank. I want you to hit high plank, hit chaturanga, lie down to your belly for Halasana. To start, put your forehead down on the mat, arms along your sides, palms up. Now the hands stay on the mat. Keep the head down on the mat for now. Push into the head and the hands and lift the legs up as high as you can get them off of the mat. Try to get the thighs up, pull the belly button in, lift the chest up. This is A position, 5 breaths here. So you're looking, drishtis at the nose, but your head's kind of looking forward. This is 2, 3, keep lifting the thighs up, 4, 5, change to B position with the hands. So B position is like chaturanga arms. Try to keep the legs straight here. 5, feet down, inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale forward to a high plank. Pause in high plank, lower down chaturanga, pause in chaturanga, lower down to the belly. Bakasana, we're gonna do Ekapada Bakasana first. So prop yourself up on your left forearm. Left forearm's parallel to the shoulder to the mat. Bend your right knee, reach inside, catch the right foot, pivot the fingertips. So fingertips are forward, heel of the hand is mid-foot. Try to square your chest here and have about 3 more breaths. So you should feel a good stretch in the quad, hopefully, and maybe in the pec as well. 5, second side. Go ahead and release. Let's not do a vinyasa here. Let's do the full pose though. So we're gonna go right into the full pose. If you can, a great way to modify this one would be to put like a block or a mat or something. I'm gonna put kind of like the mat and the block underneath my chest to prop it up, and then you bend both knees and try to take that same position with the hands. And 5, let the feet go. Inhale for your upward facing dog, exhale to downward facing dog. Okay, Dhanurasana. Come forward to the high plank once again. Lower down Chaturanga. What you're gonna do next is bend the knees, bring the feet together. Squeeze your, pull the belly in, squeeze your glutes and your hamstrings, lift the legs up off the mat, and then reach back and catch the feet with the hands. And then use your arms to pull everything up. Base of the posture is the stomach, foundation's the stomach. Five, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale forward to the high plank. Lower down Chaturanga. And it's almost the same pose, except this time it's partial Dhanurasana, so you roll to your side. So enter the same way. Bring the feet together, squeeze the butt, squeeze the hamstrings, lift up, catch your ankles if you can. Get into the pose, so pull up, and then keep pulling. Pull yourself over to the right so you're lying on your right side. And then try to reestablish the shape here. Five, inhale to the middle, left side. Inhale to the middle, and now 5 more breaths in the middle, so keep pulling up. And 5, lower the legs, hands down, inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog. And then hop forward to your knees for Ustrasana. Okay, let's do Ustrasana twice today. So you're basically now in Samasthiti on your knees. You want a little bit of space between the knees, like maybe a fist distance. First time we're doing it, turn your toes under so your heels pop up. And you basically, I mean, it really is like Samasthiti, arms are to the sides. And then lift the chest, reach back, put the hands on the heels, and let the head go if that works for your neck. And 5, come on up. Okay, so now you've got some options. You can repeat, do the same thing, or if you want to do the full version or just regular version of Ustrasana, it's not much different. It's just that now the feet are flat on the floor, so the toes are pointed instead of flexed. Belly in, chest up, reach back. Heel of the hand goes to your actual heel. Push down into the mat, lift up through the chest. And 5. Okay, and then it's another Vinyasa. And hop to your knees again. Okay, building on Ustrasana is Laghu Vidrasana. Paul can demonstrate the full version of Laghu Vidrasana. I'll show you a modified version if you're not sure what it is. Actually, Troy, I don't know that you've done this one before. I mean, you did in that back bending workshop, but if you want to just look at over here really quickly, Paul's demonstrating it. He catches his legs and he goes back, but really as one unit. So you want to just try to hinge back from the knees without changing the hips. And then it's a big exhale, or inhale rather, back up. Okay, and then you can either go ahead and do it, or you can watch me if you want to see the modified version. It's basically the same thing, except I didn't put my head on a block. And if you're putting your head on a block, you set the block right, you place it lengthwise, so you've got more area to land on, with the short edge basically lined up with your toes. Prepare, catch something near your ankles, hinge back as a unit. And stay engaged, because if you drop the weight too much, it's really hard to come up. And when you're ready, come up. Pretty good. It's hard. It's hard. That was good. All right, and when you're ready, take a Vinyasa. All right, the next posture is Kapotasana. Let's do some prep for Kapotasana. So let's do a quad stretch, a hip flexor stretch. If you have a convenient wall, you can go to the wall and do it. Like I know, Jean, you normally do it at the wall. What I'm gonna do though is lunge forward with my left leg, and I'm focusing now on my right hip flexor. I'm gonna bend. Okay, and wait, I'll move the camera so if you want to see the wall, if you're curious what the wall looks like, Paul's going to use the wall. Yeah, what Paul's doing, if you can see, it's a really deep stretch. And he also has his arms reaching up the wall, so that helps to open the shoulders up. What I'm doing actually feels like a pretty deep stretch too. Of course, it doesn't really open the upper body. So it's just working on the quad. So hip flexors are a really big component of Kapotasana, even though we often focus more on the back and the shoulders. Go ahead and switch sides. Okay. And then if you want, I usually throw in a little shoulder stretch here as well. So I take my right arm up, I reach it down the back, and then I kind of externally rotate the shoulder and lift my chest so that I'm getting my arm position of my right arm is basically like what I will be doing in Kapotasana now. and then get your second arm. Okay, Kapotasana. You've got, again, the wall is a great option in Kapotasana. So if you're using the wall, you can, really set the foundation, reach up, and then just lean back, get as low on the wall as you can, and then come back up. So that's a really good option if you feel like you need it. I'm going to try to get down to the floor. But I don't know that I'm going to be getting my heels today. So let's just take, I'm not going to talk during the next couple of rests. Let's just give Kapotasana your best shot. Remember, you have options and there's no need to go all out for it. You always have tomorrow. That's good, Rebecca. Keep reaching with the arms. Try to pull the arms down. Yeah. And let's see, Tori. Yeah, that's really good, Tori. That's perfect. Yeah. Good. Yes, Jean. Keep the hips high, Jean. Exactly. Yeah, that's really good, Becca. Or Rebecca, sorry. Yeah, you're doing really well. All right. Nice job. Okay, come on out of it. The way we exit is with a little Halasana lift, which kind of feels nice because it's a good counter pose to Kappa. So thighs and the chest stay nearly together, and you kind of lift up from here and then hop back. We're gonna skip Supta Vajrasana today just because I don't want everyone to have to spend a lot of time getting set up. Moving into Bakasana. Hop the feet up. Can everyone here do Bakasana? Just give me a hand wave if you can. I think probably, yeah. Okay, perfect. So you jump basically to Pashasana, open the knees, take the knees outside the arms, and then shift forward, try to lift up from here. And 5. Okay, Bakasana B Position. In a perfect world, you would jump from downward facing dog into Bakasana and land on your arms. So you follow them straight. Nice. But if that's not available, one of the things that I like to do as a drill is to kind of get set up and actually go ahead and jump, but then just try to tap the knees to the arms and just kind of jump right back. So tap the knees to the arms, jump right back. You can try that a few times, just so you get the sensation of transitioning the body weight. And then if you want to go for it, you can try to stick the landing. Yeah, that's it. your vinyasa after your last Bakasana. And jump through, sit down. We're on Madrasana. Left leg folds back. Right leg comes to half lotus position. And then from here, you twist. Right hand grabs the left foot or the right foot if it's available. This is an extension twist. The back stays long. If you can keep the extension twist, the final hand position is palm down, looking over your right shoulder. But you can always put your hand on your knee to help keep your back long. And then remember what we talked about in office hours last night, or Jean was there anyways, and if you get a chance to go back and watch the replay, we talked a lot about the SI joint. So if you don't want to anchor the pelvis too much here, let there be a little bit of movement from it because it's going to move, it should move here. And 5, turning face forward, and then take your vinyasa. Jump through, sit down, second side. Right leg folds back, left leg goes to the half lotus position. Left hand maybe is catching the left foot. Right hand to either on top of the knee or underneath the knee, back extends while it twists. Your knees are probably about mat distance apart. They're pretty wide away from each other. And then face forward and take a vinyasa. Jump through, sit down. Ardha Matsyendrasana. Left leg is the bottom leg, right leg comes over the top. Left arm hooks the right knee and reaches down, and the right arm comes behind you. Feel free to sit on a block here if you are shifting. If you feel like your weight shifting too far back, sit on a block because you want to kind of be coming a bit forward here. Five. Okay. Leg in and take a vinyasa. And jump through. Second side. This time the right leg's the bottom leg, and the right leg is a really important part of this foundation, so ground it. Left foot comes on top, reaches to the outside of the right knee, right armpit to the left knee, right forearm reaches down the shin bone, and the left arm wraps behind you. And maybe it can grab onto the hip, but it usually is kind of grasping the shirt or something like that. Look over your left shoulder. Turn face forward. And take your vinyasa here. Ekapada Shirshasana prep. Start in a pigeon pose. The right leg comes forward in a pigeon. And I think it's helpful to get as close to a 90-degree bend at the right knee as you can, just in terms of preparation for Ekapada. And then the other thing I think is helpful here is I know personally I tend to roll onto my right hip because that feels a little easier. So instead, push your weight a little bit toward your left side so that maybe it's in the back leg a little bit more, and see if that brings the stretch deeper into your right hip, because that will be important in terms of Ekapada Shirshasana. You can also rest down over your leg like Paula's, but just be careful with where you're shifting your weight here. Try to really keep this as a deep hip stretch. So this would not be like the restorative version of Pigeon. That is so nice. Okay, from here, take your back leg, swing it forward. So we're not going to take a vinyasa. We're going to keep working on this right leg for right hip for a while. And then I really like the figure four stretch here. Flex, make sure the right foot is flexed and it's active. And then you just kind of lean into the figure four leg. And then maybe let go or straighten the left leg and kind of hug this right leg. And you could even kind of like rock it a little, move it out to the side a little. And then from here, I'm going to give you a couple of options. So a nice one that's a little bit safer, since I know that a couple of you don't normally practice this pose. A safer version is to kind of lie down on your back like this, and then maybe start trying to put your foot behind your head. And you don't have to put your foot behind your head at all if that just sounds too absurd for you. There's no, you certainly don't have to. But if you want to give it a shot, lying down on the mat like this is usually a little bit safer for the back, just because the back's supported by the mat and it's less likely to overflex. So you could kind of start to mess around with it here a little. Again, only if it feels like remotely sensible. And then from wherever you are, try to rock up to seated. And pretty good effort, I would say. Okay, let's take a vinyasa and we'll go through that same thing on the second side. You can see Paul's just kind of working it there. So it's a good way to work at it. This posture usually takes people several months, if not years, to get the hang of. We'll do the same thing. So the left leg to a pigeon pose first. And again, my suggestion is to get the left knee bent as close to 90 as you can. And then again, just be mindful of where the weight is shifting. Maybe push the body weight a little bit over to the right to get into the left hip better. We're still practicing. Okay, take the back leg now, swing it forward, and do the seated version of that. So the seated version is nice because you can, again, keep the back really long. Because one of the reasons that Ekapada Shirshasana starts to aggravate people's back is because the back gets so flexed trying to get the leg behind it. And then hug it into your chest. And again, I really like to kind of rock it a little bit here. and then lie down onto your back, and we'll do it reclined. Feels sensible. You can try to work the foot behind the head here. And then maybe rock up from wherever you are. And you can go ahead and let that go. Yeah, I'm wearing pants, you can't lift my legs. Okay, let's take a vinyasa. The next several postures are part of that foot behind head series. So we're gonna skip the foot behind head series and fast forward ahead to a little bit of Halasana work just to build strength. So you do not have to go upside down. If you, oh, okay, well, Paul wants to do Titibasana. So, all right, ladies, I have a request for Titibasana. So these are gonna be our last two poses, Titibasana and then Pigeon. Titibasana, do you have, does anyone have a, how about I have Paul demonstrate it since he wants to do it so much. So, if you have a strap nearby, that might be helpful for this one. But what you do is you're gonna hop your feet forward to your hands. So the first part is really similar to Bujapidasana in primary series. You squat and you tuck underneath. And then you reach the legs though. So there's no crossing the ankles. Reach, it's 5 breaths here. So there's many parts to this pose. Next one, feet down. And you can take the feet wide, take them as wide as you want, and you try to tuck underneath. So this actually seems absurd, super helpful for Karmasana and Supta Karmasana in primary series. So, you know, this is actually like pretty safe to do. And then you try to walk forward. So this part really is crazy. You don't have to do the walking, but I think the first part would help. And this is when a strap can be helpful. So Paul has long arms, he can reach his hands. A strap or something is really helpful to hold. And then you try to walk it all the way in. Again, this is kind of the standing version of Supta Karmasana. That's really good, Rebecca. Hands down, you come back to Titibasana just like you do when you exit Bujapidasana again. Like this part you know from primary, and then you exit. Okay. So I think let's try it again. I mean, I know you're kind of already working on it, but let's take a couple of moments to try it because really like this is, you know, I know this is a glimpse into the future for some of you, but the truth is this will totally help your Karmasana and Supta Karmasana. So there's benefit to it. So what you're going to do, I'll walk you guys through it again if you don't, since I don't know if you normally practice it. So I know Tori, yeah, and Rebecca, you don't have to do it again, Rebecca, you already did it, but Tori, you're going to hop the feet forward to the hands, same as you do in primary. Kind of bend the knees a little bit and try to scoot back. So you're tucking your shoulders as far back as you can. From here, drop the butt, reach the legs, and reach them as you know, as much as you can. So it's 5 breaths here, and then you put the feet down, lift the butt up again, and you're still tucked underneath. And this is when you try to wrap your arms behind your back. So this is when you would use a strap. If you're able to bind your hands or catch that strap, which can be a little bit hard to find, look through it, and you're literally trying to see your butt here. Like really look for it. So it's intentional hamstrings, but really, really helpful for Karmasana. Okay, if it's available to you, try to walk forward. So shift the weight into the left foot, pick up the right foot. Shift the weight into the right foot, pick up the left foot. It's a total quad burner. So just take a couple of steps forward and a couple of steps back and see how it goes. And then the last part of the pose, you walk the feet together. Maybe hold on to the ankles and keep tucking your head through. And then you exit by going through Titibasana A again. So you're back on the backs of your arms, legs reach, and then send it back for a Vinyasa. Okay. Nice job. All right, let's spend a little bit of time working on some Pigeon strengthening. Whether or not you want to go upside down is completely up to you. But the strengthening work can actually be more difficult than the full pose. Let's start with forearm plank. Attempt to make the forearms parallel here versus hands together and elbows wide. So try to keep them all parallel. And we're going to hold forearm plank. Well, let's take 10 breaths. And 10, rest. You can do child's pose to rest or down dog, whatever feels like resting for you. Okay, now we'll do kind of a dolphin variation of that. So it's a little bit harder because you move into a plank position and there's a little bit more weight in the shoulder. So if it feels too hard, you can always come down, but we'll shoot for 10 breaths. So you basically would start in the same forearm plank, but then walk the toes in to as close as they'll get to the elbows. Five more breaths. Keep pushing into the elbows, avoid letting the back collapse. 3 more breaths. And 1, and then rest. So the next thing we do is you can either go up into it if you want to, but again, no need to actually go all the way into it. So you'll either go into the posture or you'll hold the setup. So Paul can demonstrate the full pose for you. I will demonstrate the setup. So the setup, well, I probably actually don't need to demonstrate the setup, but the setup is basically exactly what you just did, but one leg lifting up. So plant the forearms again. You can see Paul's in it. If you're not going all the way into it, you just kind of walk close like we just did, but then take one leg up. Really reach the top leg up. Push into the forearms, push into the wrists and the hands. Try to fill in all the space between the mat and your body so there's no air there. So you have a super strong foundation. If you're holding the setup, switch your legs and keep holding the setup. Okay, and then come on down and let's take a Vinyasa. Okay, well, there's more second series, but we're not going to do it today. So we'll hop through and lie down to your back and let's do some back bends. But maybe we'll do a full class on second series sometime soon because that looked pretty good. So let's all do a bridge pose together, and then we'll do 3 back bends after it. Feet flat on the floor, and then peel up whenever you're ready. And really work on lifting the chest to the chin, so the chest is getting super high. Push the shoulders down into the mat. And then lower down. You can repeat that if you want to, or Urdhva Dhanurasana. Lower down, but not for long. Second one, come up again whenever you're ready. And then last time, lower down, lift back up for your last one. And lower down. Hug your knees into your chest. And reach both legs over to the right. Lift your left arm up and over your shoulder so that it's reaching far away from your legs. And change your sides. And then go forward, catch your legs, rock up to seated, and do Paschimottanasana, the forward bend. Okay, come on up and do a Vinyasa then. Jump through, lie down for Salamba or Sarvangasana or shoulder stand. And then whenever you're ready, take your feet up over your head. Remember, you really want the shoulders to be your foundation, not your neck. And take your legs over your head for Halasana. Keep pushing into the shoulder foundation. Five, Titibasana, knees to the ears. And back up. Halasana, if it's available to you. If it's not, you can do crisscross legs like Paul is doing. And then hug it in. Slowly uncoil your spine for Matsuyasana. To Uttana Padasana if it's available again. So legs reach, arms reach. And let it go. You can Chakrasana or sit up and take a regular Vinyasa. Shirshasana, headstand. I think we'll do a live training on headstand early in the new year to break it down. But for today, do it the way you do it. Lower halfway down. And then Urdhva, Shirshasana. So you can try it, or you can just stay where you are. But if you're trying it, you push down into your arms and try to lift the head up off of the mat, and then kind of tuck the chin. Exhale out of it. Lower down, and then lower all the way down to Balasana or Child's Pose. And take a Vinyasa from here. Just step back to Chaturanga. Jump through to a seated position. And take lotus. If that works for you, if that doesn't work for you, crisscross legs is fine here. Once you have lotus, you can reach back and try to grab your toes, but if the toes feel impossibly far away, simply grab opposite elbows behind your back. And fold if you like. You can always rest your head on the block as you fold forward. Come on up. Take the index finger and the thumb together, bring the tops of the hands to the knees. Flip to he, hands outside of your hips. Uproot your lotus. Take whatever you can get up off the mat, 10 breaths. And lower down. And we'll do the closing mantra here, call and response. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale. Inhale for the Om. Swasti Prajabhyaha.
Swasti Prajabhyaha.
Paripalayantam.
Paripalayantam.
Nyayena Margena.
Nyayena Margena.
Mahim Mahishaha.
Mahim Mahishaha.
Go Brahmanebhya.
Go Brahmanebhya.
Shivamastu Nityam.
Shivamastu Nityam.
Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu.
Lokaha Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.